Welcome back to the Unstoppable podcast, guys. And today I'm joined by my right arm, emilyjadefit, as we all know her. Athlete, coach, F45, Gary Neville, super fan. You can obviously see how this podcast is going to go today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
We just carried on the conversation what we had on Emily's.
Yeah.
So if you've not listened to that podcast, Empower Pod,
Listen.
go and have a listen, and then come back to this one because it's kind of like a nice follow-on, to be fair.
Yeah.
But we've got Hyrox this weekend, so it's Birmingham. Excited.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. We're going to kind of talk about a little bit of taper week, how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically have a chin wag.
For sure.
Really. This week we've both been going back and forth on messages. We've both had a bit of a phantom kind of thing.
Phantom injury.
I've had a phantom hamstring injury, absolutely fine.
I thought I was getting ill. Like I was like, this is it. I'm gone. But I genuinely woke up last maybe Wednesday or something. I can't remember what day it was. I was drenched. Like I've never been like wet when I wake up before. Like I was like, why am I actually completely drenched?
Menopausal.
I was thinking, oh God, like what the hell is this? Woke up, I literally had to towel dry myself. I'm not even kidding. I hadn't had a nightmare or anything. Sweat.
Just woke up wet.
Yeah, like soaking wet.
What did Josh say?
He was like, get the fuck out of bed.
Did you have a shower or anything? Or
I immediately got in the shower.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Like the whole bed was wet. I had to fully change the bed.
Honestly, it's the worst. I get that when I'm on my time of the month. I do get hot sweats.
Yeah.
Haven't had that this time though. But the phantom injury. And this is something that I've noticed with a lot of athletes. Race week, they get ill. They get a cough. They get a sniffle. I don't think people realise it's the mind.
Oh my God, 100%.
I think people forget that it is the mind and the mindset that has actually triggered that feeling, sensation.
It's like a self-sabotage because you know you're out your comfort zone that week and your brain's like, what can I do to get you back into your comfort zone and not go and do this thing?
Or not do it as hard
as you'd like to. Yeah.
And then when you cross the finish, like, oh, if I hadn't have had that, I'd have pushed harder.
You also find, I think, a lot in race week, people will jump onto their stories and be like, oh, I'm actually getting quite ill, or like, I've noticed a bit of an injury. To preempt and like to let people know, like, by the way, if I don't get a good time, there's already this backlog of like, look at all the issues I've had this week. And I notice that a lot.
Yeah, I've noticed that this week. And I'm like...
And some people do pull out as well. Like some people will go as far to like be like, I'm not even going to do it.
I think a lot, the amount of tickets I've seen on sale for Birmingham before this week has been ridiculous. And then I know I'm in group chats where people are still selling tickets.
Yeah.
Like people are still selling tickets now for races tonight, tomorrow and Sunday.
£500. You take it or leave it. Yeah.
So what?
I just think it's such a shame. Obviously, let's exclude people who obviously are genuinely ill or genuinely are injured. But I do think it's such a shame how much our like nerves can impact how incredible this experience is, but also how much it can impact our confidence going into the race. And like, it's just, and I think especially with social media at the moment, the pressure is more on than, I mean, last year I just signed up for a joke. I was like,
Hyrox,
let's go. Let's go for a day out. Like, and this year there just feels like a lot more pressure around it. So even like I've had so many messages from people who it's their first race and it's like, I'm so nervous. And it's not like the nerves that's like, I'm nervous because this is new. It's nerves because
they've got the pressure of performing.
Exactly.
And I think, this is something I reiterate to absolutely everybody, is the fact that things that you see on social media are these people who literally just had this conversation with Ruby, but like these people who are putting on these really super hard sessions, but then when you speak to them, they're not even confident. So then that leaves you questioning, oh, am I doing enough? Have I done enough to prepare? Yet it's like we've got this expectation of getting a certain time, for example. And when we see someone else say that they're not happy with that time, even though it could be an incredible time, like say an hour 20, hour 30, even hour 40, like plus, like whatever time you get in Hyrox is an incredible time, because you just actually finishing that race is an incredible achievement, because it is the world's biggest fitness race, biggest, not even a competition, it's a competition between yourself to be that best version of yourself. And I think this is where things are getting like cross-wired within Hyrox, because it is a sport for everybody, and it's not everybody's thing, it's everybody. That's Hyrox's thing. And this is where it gets frustrated for me as an ambassador, and you obviously as a coach as well, where people are seeing certain people post certain things and being like, oh, well, what I've done this week isn't good enough. And then that means like the everyday person who might not be able to do, say, a sub 25 5K, that it's not good enough if they're not doing that.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting when you compare it to like marathons or like half marathons. I don't feel like people have that same pressure around running, and Hyrox is a running race. Like, you don't see it as much. People will sign up for a half, sign up for a marathon. Their goal is usually, I just want to get through it. Like, it's not usually a time-based thing, especially for the first one. Whereas with Hyrox, I think people seem to be going into it like, well, I need to get this time, or like, I need to be a certain way or train a certain way or be like them and do what they're doing. It's like the only people that are going to be sharing their training realistically is going to be the people that are spending a lot of time and dedicating a lot of time to Hyrox, because that's what their niche is, so that's what they share. Whereas like the average like Jane from down the road, who's also competing this weekend, she doesn't have time to make content and share her journey. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
But there are them people doing it.
Yeah, they're the majority of the people racing are... That, like, there's so... I don't think people actually understand how many tickets have been sold. Like, how many people...
just don't... Yeah, it's actually mind-boggling how much the sport has grown.
Yeah.
But for me, as like an ambassador and someone who's kind of been in it from the beginning of the UK races, when it first come back to the UK after COVID, I'm just like, it is absolutely wild. Like, my first solo, there was only 15 in open. Like, there was 15 people in 16 to 24 age category. And I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely wild. And the fact that it's grown so much, yes, the level of training has increased because a lot more people are coming in from other sporting backgrounds. But that's why the ballot system is so incredible, because it's not because someone's been able to do it, because they've been on it, because they know they can race in it and race in it.
Also, I think because we are further along in the sport now as well, people understand how to train for it more now. So you've got people like Leah who have been doing it for so long. You've had your years of like training for it, maybe not as optimal as you should have been, or maybe like...
I don't really know that.
Do you know what I mean? Like trial and error with different things and like seeing what works for you, because everyone likes to jump on social media and be like, this is how to train for Hyrox. No one knows.
No one knows. Hyrox don't know. Like, Hyrox genuinely do not know the best way. And I've done the courses, and even on the courses, they are suggesting so many different ways to actually train for the sport. It's not just one route or one modality that you have to train for in a certain way. It's whatever way that suits you. And that kind of like, coming up to this point now, I feel like I've had 9 months off racing solo. So I've had a 9 months solid training block, well, multiple blocks, not just one, of peaking, building down, peaking again, building down, peaking up my fitness again, ready for this race. Like, and that is, I think, something that we need to realise, because you've not raced in about 9 months. You've not.
Jan was mine.
It's the same as me. So like, you've not raced in 9 months too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you need, and I think this is something that everyone forgets, you need that period to grow and evolve as an athlete.
Yeah. And like the first race that you go into, like, you don't have a clue what you're doing.
Oh,
like, you can
not.
prep for it as much as you want. You can, even this year with so much more information about it, you can think you know exactly what you're going into. You don't. Like, even with this one, if I was going to Manchester, at least I'd be like, well, I know the venue. I don't know, I do know the NEC, but I don't know how they've set it up for this race. It's like every single part of it is different. The laps, I'm trying to get in my head because they're first lap is different to
Mate,
the
it's
second.
only 3 laps. Come on.
No, so what? Is the first run 3?
Yeah.
So the first one,
So you come out
the
start.
third time I see the in, I go
You
in.
go in.
On the others, the second time I see the in, I go
Go
in.
in.
I've got it. But even so, like, that's different. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I do 3 like I did with Manchester, but it's different. So it's like, I've got clients going this weekend. It's their first race. I'm like, when they come to me say, like, I want to get this time, I'm like, no, the first one is a data collection. It's let's see where you're at. After that, it's right, let's go in with a time, because I don't know how you're going to react to, you don't know how your adrenaline's going to react, you don't know how your nerves are going to play into a fact. You might be absolutely fine, you might not be. So I don't want to send you into your first race and go, yeah, we're going to sub 1:15 it. You might not.
No, exactly that. And this is what I say to everyone as well. Even though the actual layout of Hyrox is exactly the same, every course is different because there is different things in there. So like you could have more laps. So more laps is going to slow you down. Less laps is going to speed you up. You could have a bigger rock zone. So then that's going to, like, Birmingham rock zone is a big ass rock zone. Whereas Manchester is tiny because you've got more laps.
Yeah.
So it compensates from venue to venue. So another thing as well, if it is your first race in Birmingham and then say you're racing, for example, in Manchester in January, you can't really compare them times. So if you do get a slower time, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Like and this is also another thing as well, like certain courses are renowned for being a bit slower. So if you do get a slower time than what you have done previously, then it's probably the course. Maybe it's not you, but then also as well, you've got so many things that can go on taper week if you've tapered right, if your mentality's right. Like, have you let these phantom illnesses, injuries get to you that then cause you to be like, slow down?
And if anyone
back.
is injured as well, like,
Don't push through the race. Sorry.
Sorry,
I'm just
thought you
sorry.
were done there.
I just butted in there. I was
No,
just
I
like,
butted in on you.
oh right, we butted in together.
Sorry.
But
Edit that.
But if you are genuinely injured, do not push through and do it, because you do not want to be like me.
Yeah, you got
And be out for 4 months.
I didn't even know you, but I remember seeing your content and it was like, this race didn't go to plan, and I was like, oh my God, who is this girl? And here we are.
Here we are.
I literally just said on my vlog, I was like, we literally see each other like 2 to 3 times a week at this point.
Yeah, well, joint at the hip.
We actually are.
Literally joint at the hip.
It's crazy.
Um,
But yeah, no, and I was going to say, like, last year, for anyone who,
It's all right.
for anyone who's, I mean, obviously Birmingham will have passed by the time this is out, but for whatever race you got coming up in the season, just bear in mind, like, if you feel like you have got an injury, to distinguish between whether it's like phantom or an actual injury. Last year, my calf started playing up so randomly. I wasn't even running. Like, I literally didn't even really train. So there was like no way that my calf could be remotely injured. Like, there just wasn't. So then on the week, genuinely, I was teaching classes, quotation marks, because I was so scared. I was stretching my calf out. I was in agony, like actual agony. Woke up the day of the race, was literally fine. Like, literally not a problem. Ran the race, finished the race, literally fine. Like, not an ounce of pain. So it's just about distinguishing, like, can you trace that injury back to like
an actual
injury, or like, is this your brain playing tricks on you? And a lot of the time this week, it really is your brain getting scared.
No, I agree. I fully agree. And even it comes down to food as well. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this week we need to eat. We really need to eat. But can I stomach anything?
Mine's going
No.
today. My appetite's going today.
My appetite went. When did we go to the? When did we go to Contrast?
That was
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
I've had no appetite since Wednesday. Like, I can't.
You got a full fat Coke.
Yeah, I never drink full fat Coke,
No.
but my nutritionist, he was just like, get the calories in some way, because, and I know we should all eat whole foods. I am a big promoter of eating whole foods, but when you are really struggling to eat food,
Eat whatever.
we need to just get something in there to be able to increase them calories quicker. And something as well, like, I've had a lot of messages this week as well asking about like race nutrition. Why are we having beetroot shots? We'll get onto the beetroot shot thing in a second. We'll get onto the beetroot shot thing in a second. But if your diet is not supporting you enough, having beetroot shots on race week is not going to frigging support you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Supplementation is
not.
to supplement an already there diet.
Yes.
Like, so there's no point having a protein shake and not having any other protein throughout the day. Like, it's got to already be there and then you add it in.
It's added, yeah, it's there as an added thing in. But the whole hype around beetroot shots, we're going to get into why we have them. So beetroot shots are really, really good for decreasing inflammation in your body. So if you do have niggles, they should decrease because it'll help reduce the inflammation. But then also as well, it really, really helps increase your aerobic capacity. Now, for you to have enough nitrate, you need to have, this is the scale of it, is 7 beetroots. Like 7 whole beetroots you need to be able to eat to get the full benefits of 400 milligrams of nitrate. Emily put on a story the other day that she was drinking a glass, not a shot, a glass of beetroot juice concentrate. Now, when I saw this on our story, I went, Emily, please tell me you've not been drinking just beetroot juice.
Can I just say as well, it tastes like absolute crap.
It's arsehole.
Like, it's awful.
Like, it tasted like I've never licked an arsehole.
Yeah. I personally don't know what an arsehole tastes like.
No,
Leah will have to clarify on that.
I don't. I've never had that. I've never.
Carl's watching this like...
Carl's like, when have you been near my... I wouldn't want to go near his arsehole.
So what you get up to is what you get up to. But yeah, no, it tastes horrendous. But I'm drinking this full-ass glass on my... Sorry, I've been drinking beetroot juice for days, right? And I did this for the half, and I know this one worked because it did work for the half. Leah messages me, what are you drinking? Beetroot juice. FaceTimes me, I'm in the bath, I'm like, genuinely, do not tell me I'm drinking the wrong thing, because I was like 100% convinced I wasn't. Take it away.
So I FaceTimed, I went, Emily, mate, have you literally been necking beetroot juice this week? She went, yeah, I did it for my heart. It was fine, I was fine. I went, I don't actually think you're getting enough nitrate in there. She went, what? She went, I've been drinking that and it's not going to do anything. I went, I don't think so.
But you thought I was drinking like the watered down
Yeah, I thought
juice.
she was drinking like actual beetroot juice. So you've got beetroot juice and you've got beetroot juice concentrate.
Yeah. It's the same with cranberry juice, like for water infections.
Yeah.
If you get cranberry juice drink, that's not going to do anything. You need like ocean spray, you know?
That throws it back to the TikTok video of the man on the when he's on the skateboard. And have you seen that? No. Oh God. Anyway,
sorry.
We should do one for beetroot juice.
We should.
We should do one for beetroot
It's
juice.
actually. This morning I had my glass and I was like, I'm actually enjoying it today.
I said this morning on the vlog.
Yeah.
I said I've got used to the taste of it now. But basically, we had a Google on FaceTime while Emily was in the bath, and we was looking, and she is having enough in the glass, but she does need to drink a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, which was the basic conclusion. So I needed like an extra 50 ml.
Yeah, and if you're going to have beetroot shots, get the Beat It Sport ones.
Your solution is a much easier one than my solution because I'm drinking like tons of beetroot juice. You're just taking a little shot, which I think is probably
Still
more preferable. It's kind of like as if I was just drinking a whole drink of ginger.
I look like a vampire when I've had it.
Yeah, I do. I get like little...
Around here,
Yeah.
Like
Twilight Emily is like buzzing with it. I wish I'd found out about that when I was like 8 years old.
I went, well, it's Halloween, isn't it, next week? I was like, if anyone wants any fake blood, don't even bother.
Beetroot juice.
Just have a bit of beetroot juice, let it drip down the side of your mouth.
It's a good idea.
But it'll actually really, really help on race day. So how you supplement that, if your diet's already supplemented, is literally 2 a day, about 800 milligrams of nitrate. You can have 1 to 2. I'd test with 1 first if you're your first time having it, because sometimes it can upset your stomach a little bit, because it's quite heavy. But if your stomach's fine with just 1, you can then increase it throughout the week, 5 days before your race, and then you have 2 the day you race, about an hour before your race. So that'll really, really help with that. I have noticed a difference from it.
My half marathon, honestly, my aerobic capacity the whole time is absolutely fine.
Do you feel like it? I feel like I feel lighter.
Yeah, like I
can
feel
push
good.
heavier.
For sure. Oh yeah, I feel like strong. I feel really good going into this race. Like I can't even. I mean, it could be just the beetroot juice, but I do feel really good going into it.
You have also had like 9 months prep.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like 9 months is a long time.
Long time. I'm ready to not be prepping. I'm ready to be like at least doing a race and then going on to London. But it's been a long year.
Yeah, it has been a long year. I feel like we've done a lot of growth as athletes.
For sure.
Getting comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I've still got a way to go with that, but I think I pushed way more than I normally would.
I feel like when we did that half sim, I feel like you did well. Spicy.
So the only thing about this half sim that's made me panic about race day is that I thought I was going to be sick, and then the other day I was in F45, and I'm really sorry if they're watching this. I'm not saying this in a horrible way, but someone came up to me. They're like, do you think you'll be sick on the day? And I was like, why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me? And I remember doing the wall balls and you were like, come on. And I was like, there is something like in my throat, like I could actually.
If you're sick, there is bins.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I remember last year a guy trunded on the wall balls and someone literally posted it on TikTok and it went viral. And I was like, I just can't be arsed with being like the trunder girl. Like I just cannot be bothered.
You're not going to be.
No, I'm not going to be, but that half sim gave me so much confidence. I also spoke to Josh about the curved treads and he was like, they're so much harder.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so I feel like running flat, I think we'll
be absolutely fine. And this is something that I've said to everyone, like it's really, really good because obviously it's resistance, isn't it? You have to use your weight to move the tread when you're on a curb treadmill, and I don't recommend using them all the time because they can cause injuries because you're overexerting yourself.
I feel like it hurts my shins.
Yeah, because you're constantly having to have a foot inflection. But curb treadmills are great for training every so often, but using a curb treadmill all of the time, personally, from like a biomechanical perspective, your body is not designed to run on a curb. Like your body is designed to either run on a flat, to run on like running circles, to like run up a hill. But on a curve, like when the treadmill is like that, you're propelling yourself forward. It's a bit like running with a carbon plate on all the time. That makes sense. Because it's very, very quad heavy rather than being like hamstring and activating your glute. You're having to constantly be in your toes.
I feel like I'm just trying to push it down all the time, and I'm just like, give
This
me a
thing's not
break.
moving.
Like I'm already doing all of this other stuff. Like just give me a moment. But yeah, that sim gave me a lot of confidence actually.
God.
So I mean, I don't know. I feel excited for this weekend.
Do you know what I'm excited to see? I'm excited to see how the training, the sims, this last 9 months has played to get to this point. And I just want to reiterate, like we're saying about the race and stuff, like we can't wait for that. But I've actually genuinely enjoyed the journey of it all.
Oh yeah, it's taught me so much about like I'm so disciplined with myself, and I don't think I am disciplined with myself. And then I look back at that and I'm like, I'm disciplined with myself. Like I've literally done this block. I've never done anything like this in my life where I've been this like on it with a goal. Like it's actually been insane.
No, I'm exactly the same. Like I've fat loss as well. Like whenever I've done fat loss in the past, I'll always like have a cheeky few snacky snacks out to my deficit, and then it's like, oh, I'm not getting the result I want. But whereas with this, you can't out-train. Like you can't skip a session if you want to get better. You can't, like, obviously shit happens and like things do crop up, but like you can't just settle and just be like, oh, well, I'll do that next week.
Yeah.
It can't be like, I'll start Monday, because that's a week out of your training.
Yeah. And every week kind of counts with this. Like every week is like part of a block that needs to end to move on to the next block to get you ready in time for the specific race. I do think when it's like obviously your first season and stuff, like there is more room for
it's trial and error,
moving things around, and like, you know, because you really are just going in, it's just the unknown completely. But I think like where we're at now and what we want to get out of the season, it's really been a case of like there's no
Can't hold back.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes me a little bit nervous, because I'm like, I think like you get those fears then, don't you? Like on the race like build up, you're like, I really hope like what I'm wanting happens. But then you just think, you have to look back at your training and be like, you've done it all.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
The numbers do not lie. And it's like what I've looked at the numbers, it's like them numbers do not lie. Like, they've not just happened by mistake. We've had the choice to make them numbers happen.
Yeah.
We could have quite easily held back. And I think this is the same goes for everybody. Like, you had a choice whether to progress or not to progress. You've got the choice whether to be in that little bit of short-term discomfort for that long-term gain. And when you are at that start line, that is one thing that you need to remember. Like, the numbers do not lie. And the only thing stopping you being where you want to be is yourself.
Yeah, it's your brain telling you can't do it, but you can.
Oh,
and I think as well, though, like, I would say to people, it's so much harder in your training. Like, it's so much harder to get the numbers in your training.
I say this to everyone.
Like, you're going to get on race day and you're going to want to go as fast as you can. You're going to want to soak up every moment of it and smash it.
Unless you get to a point in the race after the burpees and it's like,
I know.
what have I got myself in for?
The burpee. The only station I'm dreading is the ski erg.
You just want to get that done with, don't you?
I hate this. I don't hate ski erg at all, actually. That is a big fat lie. But it's that moment of being like, you're not quite in the race yet. You're like,
dipping your toe in.
Shit, here we are. Like, it's happening.
Do you know what you need to think of? Ice bath.
Ice bath.
Ice bath. So we did the ice baths and stuff the other day. And we was like, Emily, don't just dip yourself in, like, go all in with it.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. Don't gas yourself out.
Yeah.
But go all in with the actual ski. Like, be the ski.
Be the ski.
Be the ski.
Be the ski. For sure. Like, yeah. I think it's there's no other station that and I even thought baby broad jumps, I thought, God, I'm going to dread that. I'm not dreading them at all. I know from the row I'm like stunning. Like, wall balls is going to obviously be horrible, but like, whatever.
No, they're not.
I'm just going to break it into 10s.
Go in with a plan. That's what I literally say to everyone. Go into every station with a plan, and that plan can always change. Don't panic if the plan has to change. Like, if you're, say, obviously the first time, we're going to start with the wall balls, but like the first time you go into them wall balls, go into it with a bit of a plan. Like, set yourself a target of like, right, okay, how many are we going for first? 20? Okay, let's go for 20. If we get to 20 and you're still feeling good, you just don't want that lactic acid to build up, because as soon as you have that lactic acid, absolute game over. It's absolute game over. Like, you just want to go in, and you still want to kind of not feel fresh, because you're not going to hit with wall balls, but like feel like you've got control.
Play smart.
Yeah.
Like, play smart.
Don't
to
be a
go
dickhead.
quicker. Like, I think that's what's so important. Like, people think quickness is like, go rapid, and that's why on the skier people aren't optimal, because they don't go up to the top. They stay in this like short range of motion at the bottom of the ski, and there's no power generation there, so it's harder. Rowers the same. Like, there's so many little things you can do
To make it more efficient.
Make it more efficient. Row it down and back up again. You're going to generate way more power. Like, there's so many different things that you might think this is slowing me down, but it's actually not. Like, taking a breather on the burpees when you're on the floor, 2 seconds, step up, jump. It doesn't make you, unless you are elite 15, absolutely rapid, trained for so long, which obviously there's only 15 people that are that good. Like, you don't need to be, you know, you have time.
No, and
you'll go quicker for
the
it.
reiteration is, Hyrox is a running race.
They use the stations to recover to get on the runs. And I actually have wrongly before thought it was use the runs to recover. And I think everyone had that as their mindset. But
I think people still do.
Yeah.
And this is your podcast reminder that Hyrox is a running race.
Yeah.
Like, you are on the runs longer than you are on the actual stations.
Yeah. It'd be better to save 20 seconds of your kilometre time and be like, say for example, your average kilometre time is like 5 minutes. It'd be better to try and get a 4:50, 4:40 or whatever on your runs, and be able to save 20 seconds across the entire race on all of them exercises, like all of those 8 runs, rather than try and save 20 seconds on the ski erg. Like,
20 seconds on the ski is just not going to do nothing. And also as well, you go ham on the stations, better believe you're walking that rock zone.
Oh yeah.
oh, you're going to want that rock zone.
And that time's up.
That time adds up and adds up. Like, depending on how big the rock zone is, like we were saying, Birmingham's quite a big ass rock zone.
Excited for that.
You're going to have to run it.
Yeah.
Run it and use it as recovery, because as soon as you start walking, that is your head taking back control, proving that you can't do it.
Yeah. You've got to be in it. I think this is the whole thing, like you've just said there, like be the ski. Like you have worked so hard for this hour and a half max. For the majority of people, for this hour and a half.
Literally even say to yourself, like, I'm only going to be in this. Set yourself a bit of a target. You don't have to tell anybody else if you're a bit embarrassed. But literally set yourself a target of being like, I'm not being in this more than an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I did that in London when I did my doubles with one of the girls who we used to coach. And I went to it, nah, we're not being in this more than an hour and 20. Better believe we did an hour and 18.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we need to just go, and you need to just believe yourself and just keep on pushing through.
I think so much of races comes down to saying something in your head and just doing it. Like, and I know that sounds so stupid, but like
it's proving to yourself and having that discipline.
Every race I've ever done, I've said I'm going to do it in this time or sub this time, and I've done it sub that time, and there's been no maths, there's been no numbers that I've looked at. There's been like my half marathon, I was like, I want to sub 150 it. Where did that come from? I think I saw someone else had sub 150 it, so I was like, I'm going to sub 150 it. I did it in 147. Hyrox, I said we just wanted to sub one. I told everyone 130 because I was told that was the average, and then I was like, no, I want to sub 120 it, so I'm a little bit above that. Where did that come from? Like, babes, you've not run a 5K since Christmas Day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I did nothing. There's nothing telling me that I could do that apart from me telling myself I could.
Yeah.
And so much of it, I think, comes from that. Like, I've got a number in my head for this race. Where's that come from? I think because I saw a girl last season do it. And I'm like, I'm going to do that time.
No, I'm the same. I'm literally the same.
Where's it come from?
But you know what, to be fair, I'm a bit more analytical with my numbers.
Yeah.
Like, if the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So, like, with me, I look at the data, I look at the numbers, I'm very methodical, mathematical, but I'm not constantly clock watching. Like, every time in my race, whenever I've clock watched, I have got in my head so much because the first half of the race is always slower than the second half of the race. Purely because of the stations. Yeah, like, you're a little bit more fatigued, you're still warming into the race, but after the burpees, it's like, fucking let's go.
Yeah.
And like that, if there's any piece of advice that you take from this, if you do set your watch, because obviously if you don't set your watch, it doesn't count. But if you set it and you've got like an Apple Watch or something, literally click on it, start it, and then go literally back onto the normal clock face, because
I'm not wearing my watch.
It's just like an attachment thing.
Yeah, I've not worn my watch all week. I've not had any Whoop on. And I actually said about this in my vlog for this week. Like, I think people do themselves such a disservice, not with their watch, but with like a Whoop, waking up and being like, my recovery shit. Like, and you get in your head, like, just take it off. Don't worry about it this week. Like, go off how you are feeling. Like, obviously, yeah, some people do like to wear their watches. The only reason I'm not wearing my watch is because my Coros tells me when my heart rate's high and can't be asked it beeping at me in the race, and I can't work out to turn it off. So I don't want to wear it. I can't bother. I know my heart rate is going to be high. I don't need it telling me I'm at 180 BPM. Do you know what I mean? But
we're at threshold, girls.
Yeah, like, you're having a cardiac arrest. Like, no. But like, yeah, I think one of the worst things people do is, I think there's obviously, like you said there, you're methodical, you're data driven. Like, you look at data. I think that's right to do. But I also think it's okay to detach yourself from the data sometimes.
I agree.
And like not worry about it. Because last year, one of my friends, she woke up on amber recovery and it really got in her head on the day of the race. And it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't have a Whoop. This is why I don't have a Garmin as well. Yeah. This is why I think I'm a bit apprehensive of getting a Garmin, because I know if my Garmin told me that you're under recovered, your HRV's dropped, I'd be like, oh, maybe I'm not fit enough to race. And then I'd get in my own head and be like, oh, that's, again, phantom. I'd make that excuse if I finished the race and I didn't get what I wanted to do.
You want no excuses on this week. Like, you really want this whole week to be just like calm, collected, and building your confidence. And like, I think also understanding that anticipation and adrenaline is normal. Not nerves. Like, it's normal. Like, you're gonna feel, because it's like, honestly, I wake up on the morning of Hyrox, it's like Christmas Day.
What have I just said, Jack? I literally said, do you not feel like this week has been like lead up to Christmas, and then after this, it's like we're Christmas because it's November next month.
Well, I was doing check-ins this morning. I was like, I felt like I was on like the last day of work. And then it was like, I'll close my laptop down, and I mean, I won't be closing my laptop down until probably about 9 p.m. tonight. But like, you know, you sort of like, it's such an exciting weekend, and that excitement you've just got to channel, and like, I'll get excited thinking about it. I
absolutely love it. And I think I've seen so many messages of people being like, oh, the nerves are kicking in, this, that, and the other. It isn't like, yes, nerves are there. They're meant to be there. It's your body's natural response to something new.
And like, confidence only comes from competence, and competence only comes from doing something. So if it's new and you've never been there before, you're gonna not feel confident.
I mean, I have been there before. I do feel confident, but the nerves are still there.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling. The season's different for you this year, though. I feel you're like injury free. You're going into it like ready to like seriously smash a lot of like goals that you've probably had for a while.
Breaking glass ceilings.
Breaking grass. I've got brain fog this week. I have got
We've been speaking about this brain fog. That's also another thing that happens on race week. Like your head, just because your head is so much in the race, you just everything else outside of that, you feel it's like blinkers are on. Like seriously, blinkers are on.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to get in the zone. Like I'm trying to.
Can I just say, anyone before a race now moving forward, like I'm not being an arsehole or anything like that, but I'm not speaking to anyone before a race. Like I don't want any outside noise of if someone's feeling shit, that to then reflect onto me, because I'm very much like an energy type of person. And if someone's energy is like a nervous energy and like feeling worried and this, that and the other, that will come onto me, and I don't want that because I'm in such a good headspace for this race.
Yeah.
Like, I know tomorrow, I've got a very strong feeling of what I'm going to achieve tomorrow, and I'm not going to say it. I mean, do you know what? Fuck it, I am going to say it. I'm 100% going to get a sub 116. Like, the numbers don't lie. Like, I can 100% achieve that. And going into that race tomorrow would be like a fucking 20-minute PB. Like, what the fuck? Like,
that's just a reflection
20-minute PB. But that is a reflection of hard work and discipline that I've had this last 9 months. Working with my injury, accepting things, moving on from it and doing something from it. And I can say it proudly with my chest that I'm actually going to go and fucking get that.
Of course you are.
And my heart's like pounding because I'm like, fucking yes, you can do that.
And it's thinking about, I think about that feeling when you cross the finish line, you're looking up at that screen and you're going to see...
I feel like I could cry.
114.
Or 116, whatever.
Whatever it's going to be
I'm just like, we did that.
Yeah.
We did that.
100%. Like, it's just the best feeling, like smashing through that and knowing that anticipation's building and the feeling afterwards is just going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it's like the more you normalise speaking about your goals, what you want to achieve, then
it's true. Everyone's quite like shy to do it, aren't they?
Like,
but it's like,
so
no.
what? Like, if I don't get a 116 tomorrow,
oh well.
And
you still did the race.
I still did the race. I smashed the race. I got a PB. It will be a PB race because I was injured last race. So
you will 100%.
I'll 100% PB.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the competition is literally just me. And that is the beauty of the sport. Like, it is genuinely just you versus you.
Yeah.
And I think everyone does get wrapped into that comparison. And it's like, it's not about what fucking Sally did.
It don't matter.
Next door. Like, no one's asked. No one's asked.
No one's like you're not gonna like put your picture up and people are gonna like be jumping on the rankings and being like, what did they get?
What did they get?
Like,
and if they do, that is a reflection of them.
100%.
That is a reflection of them, not a reflection of you.
No.
And that judgment is them actually truly judging themselves.
For sure. Like, and actually, that just goes to everything. Like, it's always a projection of something inner. Like, any form of judgment in any area. Because realistically, the majority of people that I come into contact with in this sport, they're just like buzzing to be there and buzzing that other people are there and like everyone's just buzzing. Like, so it's like there's only going to be a very small minority that are caught up in numbers of like random people. Like, and I think people care about what they're doing. No one cares. I don't care. Like, I care what you're doing because I want you to get your goal, but I don't care what you get because it's going to make me think differently
No.
of you. Like, it's like you could walk in there tomorrow and get a 116. I'm still going to love you as much as I love you today. Do you know what I mean?
And
like,
it's exactly the same. It's like the people who care more about what you get, they're the people actually you want to be surrounded with.
Exactly, like genuinely who cares?
No
Like
one
genuinely
cares.
who cares? Just go there, go and have fun, soak it in. I think that's what I think, soak it in, Jesus Christ, like what an amazing... First off, you were lucky to get a ticket. Like, first off, it's like impossible to get a ticket these days anyway. So you've got like a golden ticket to Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Then like soak in the vibes, soak in the music. The music's always incredible.
Dance, have fun.
Like...
It's not serious.
Meet people, like
Speak
meet
to
people with,
on the course.
Yes, there will also be. Obviously this is my first solo, but from what I've heard from other people who've done solos, they've like found someone who they seem to be at a similar pace with. By your fourth or fifth run, you're like, yeah, we're probably going to finish at a similar time. You start to like end up running together and whatever, and it's nice.
Lucy, who I think she was injured. She really badly injured, so she's not racing. But like Lucy, I've literally raced every single race, I literally raced my first solo in Glasgow with her. I then raced my first pro in London with her, and then I raced Manchester with her. And we was literally like going pretty much head to head. There was literally videos of us all like together, and we always pace together. And it's just a really nice thing of meeting someone and actually meeting a friend for life as well. Like having that support and that hype on the course is just so comforting as well.
People think like, I get a lot of people say to me like, how do you meet people in the sport? Like, how do you meet friends? It's like literally on the race day, or like from the content I post about the race day or whatever. And you just meet, that's how we met. Like, we just both saw each other's content. I walked past you on a dog walk, and that the rest was history.
Oh, you live in Manchester?
I didn't even know she lived here. Live on the same road.
Yeah.
But just enjoy it, guys. Just have the best time.
Yeah, honestly, enjoy
Meet people,
it.
talk to people. Just if I've got a resting bitch face in the rock zone, it's not on you. It's just I'm trying to get into a zone.
Yeah, like just enjoy it, guys. Like seriously, just enjoy it. And honestly, these races go fast.
They do. You think it's a long time, but they don't.
When you're halfway through, you're like, how much longer do I have? But then before you know it, you blink, you're at the wall balls, you're at that finish.
Well, you know, like that, have you seen that video where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? That's what it's like. Like the first half of the race is so long. Then you're on the lunges, you're like, like it's fast. Like, because and then once you're on that run and you know you go into the wall balls,
you're
like, boom, like that. Like it'll be your fastest run. Mine always is.
I have
from that one race I've done.
I've literally got goosebumps.
I'm excited. What time are you racing tomorrow?
12.
Stunning.
I'm excited. I mean, what time are you racing?
11:50. The same, but the next day.
Next day. Stunning. Well, I'm there all weekend.
I'm going to try. Josh has decided he wants to run a half marathon in the morning just to steal my thunder. So he's going to do that in the morning, and then we're going to drive up. So hopefully, fingers crossed,
tomorrow morning.
We'll get there before 12. Yeah, but I just don't know.
Where's he doing this half marathon?
Round Salford.
Oh, just a casual.
He just does this. Like he just goes and runs like 30k. And
why does he have to do that?
Just I don't know.
He's going to stood on his feet all day.
That's what I said to him. I said, don't worry,
you're doing a half marathon around Hyrox.
But I feel like he's just one of them people that can run and it not be a problem.
Why is he not doing a Hyrox?
I know. He's scared. Oh. He's scared that I might be better than him.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. A lot of things. Well, thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely chit chat.
Always.
Lovely chinwag.
We'll go for lunch now.
Yeah, we'll go for lunch. But guys, thank you so much for listening, for watching.
Make sure you're all following Leah at High Life. At Leah.highlife coaching. Make sure to download, do whatever you can for this podcast. It's different on every platform.
And Emily.
emilyjadefit on all social platforms, or EmpowerPod. If you've not listened to our podcast that we've done before, go back and listen to that one, because it's a good 10 out of 10, and it's a nice follow on from this. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yay! Thank you.